Detective Henchins presses play on the VCR. They both stand behind the desk, waiting anxiously to view what the killer has to say. 45 seconds into the tape. There is still silence and a blank screen. Dr. Swan starts to believe this is all a ruse. The killer left the tape as a joke.
There is nothing on the tape. This is a waste of time.
The detective does not respond. He sits in the chair behind the desk and continues to wait. 2 minutes has gone by.
This is a waste of time. I'm getting back to work.
Dr. Swan turns and heads towards the door. As soon as he opens the door to leave, a blood-wrenching scream releases from the television. He quickly closes the door and rejoins the detective. The screen on the television changes to focus on a woman. Her lower half is stuffed inside a washing machine. In front of her looks to be a tank full of fish.
That's Kimberly Mace.
Are you still there, detective? I know you are. You're such a patient man. I knew you would wait for me.
Detective Henchins can hear the distorted voice of the banana killer, but he does not appear on screen. Only Kimberly Mace, sobbing and beaten, awaiting her fate.
Why do people lie? Do people even take their lives and the commitments they make seriously anymore? I have so many questions for this world, so I decided to ask a select few. Of course, not now. Not while they're in this situation, but way before we even got here. So many times I've been told to mind my business, as if they weren't flaunting their deceptions in the streets. So much audacity. So much shame they knowingly bring to themselves and their families, but it never changes their decisions. The woman always tells me the same thing. He made a commitment, not me. I have no loyalty to that woman. He does. Then turn around and take part in the hurt that will be caused upon another. Where does it stop, detective? There's no true consequence for adultery. What if death was the consequence? Do you believe people would still commit it? Or do you believe people would be more honest, more considerate when making such decisions? I know I probably would never hear your answers, but it's such a great conversation to have.
The banana killer takes the camera and moves it closer to Kimberly's face. The detective could tell that Kimberly's jaw was broken. Her jawline was black and blue. One eye was swollen shut and blood ran down her face from a deep gash found on top of her forehead.
You looked so cozy inside the diner. Did you enjoy your dinner?
I'm so sorry. I am so sorry.
Sorry for what? What could you have done wrong?
I knew Tom was married. I knew about his children. I knew about his life, and I still fell in love with him.
The banana killer pushed a button on the washing machine. The agitators begin to twist the wash basket, slowly crushing Kimberly's legs. The banana killer turns the machine off.
Love? You loved him? You loved his money. You loved his lifestyle. You loved the possibility of an easy life. But there's no way you love that man. You can't love anyone. You don't even love yourself. A person who loves themselves would never accept crumbs. Where did this man sleep every night? Where did this man wake up every morning? Where did this man spend his holidays? And who was this man lying to? Or not you. He knew he could tell you anything because he knew you didn't give a fuck. As long as you had the newest shoes, tuition paid, and he could give you a wet ass, you would settle. That man didn't love you. You were his sex toy. Since he can't find you, who do you think he's with now? Do you think he's sobbing? No, he's not.
The banana killer pulls out a phone and shows Kimberly a live video. On the video, Tom is at home sitting on the couch rubbing the feet of his wife. Detective Henchins is alerted that there may be a camera hidden inside Tom Ford's home, but he does not react. He cannot seem to stop watching the punishment being inflicted upon Kimberly Mace.
You see? And later tonight, he will be enjoying his wife like he always has for the last 15 to 20 years. But you will be dead.
I cannot watch anymore. Poor girl.
Dr. Swan quickly leaves the room before he could see what the banana killer has planned next.
Shut up that crying! You weren't crying when his wife was waiting up late at night, waiting for her husband to come home. You weren't crying when his children asked, "Where is Daddy?" and she looked with tears in her eyes and said, "I don't know." So don't cry now.
The banana killer turns on the washing machine. The sound of bones crushing radiates throughout the room. Jessica's screams are horrific.
Now that sounds so much better.
Kimberly is in so much pain she grabs for the fish tank in front of her in order to pull herself out of the washing machine. As soon as she grabs the fish tank, the fish instantly begin to eat away at the flesh on her fingers. The detective realizes the fish tank is full of piranhas. The blood on her hands and the fish eating away at her fingers has made it impossible for Kimberly to escape the death trap created by the banana killer. The washing machine does a final spin before there was a loud crack and no more movement from Kimberly. The tape cuts off. For a moment, the detective is frozen in shock. The banana killer has left the detective speechless. He snaps out of it and at once calls for backup.
Officers, the home of Tom Ford needs to be searched. There is a hidden camera that has been placed within his home and it needs to be found.
As the detective leaves the office to go to the home of Tom Ford's, he calls a judge for a warrant. But a very gruesome fact also crosses the detective's mind.
This killer will kill again and again. He must be stopped.